湾区财长会议未见利好消息，希腊财政将步入最危险时期。默克尔说，欧债危机还将至少持续5年。
One and only one answer for our troubles is more integration.
英国在一体化前敲起退堂鼓，此时深陷债务泥潭的欧盟却荣获本年度诺贝尔和平奖，外界又有怎样的非议？一连2周专访原欧洲议会议长、波兰前总理耶日布泽克。
大家好，欢迎收看今天的风云对话，我是阮志山。在上个星期，我们和曾经担任过欧洲议会的议长的布泽克先生，来谈了一下有关这个欧盟地区的各种的发展。那么今天我们再度邀请布泽克到我们节目里面来，我们要请教他有关几个问题。第一个是欧盟跟中国的这个各种的发展的问题。第二个就是上个月诺贝尔和平奖把今年的和平奖颁给了欧盟。那么颁给欧盟以后，全世界都觉得这个有点奇怪，就跟前年把和平奖颁给刚上任的美国总统奥巴马一样。因为在这种以这个成就来讲啊，这种做法是有点说不过去。所以我们今天先请这个布泽克先生来跟我们谈谈欧盟跟中国之间各种的关系，我们中国是不是要出手来拯救欧元区的危机，或者是帮助欧元区早日度过危机，还有其他的文化经济方面的发展。请看。
欧盟的历史上曾有过一部欧盟宪法条约，但2004年它刚被签署后不久，就因遭到法国和荷兰的全民公决否决而陷入僵局。为解决制宪危机，欧盟领导人于2007年12月在葡萄牙首都里斯本正式签署了里斯本条约，来取代已经失败的欧盟宪法条约。2009年11月，随着捷克总统克劳斯的签署批准，里斯本条约已获得了欧盟所有27个成员国的全部通过而生效。
In the year 2009, December, the Euro passed the Lisbon Treaty, right? So
I was fighting for that as the President of the European Parliament.
Right.
I wanted to have it on the table and to have all the documents because it is supportive. The Lisbon Treaty is supportive, but we must use all the possibilities which are connected with the Lisbon Treaty. We haven't used them yet.
So you must be very proud of it because you witness of the treaty passed, and at that time you are president of the European Parliament. So how far will you go from there?
Well, as a matter of fact, we implemented all the points which are connected with the letter of the Lisbon Treaty. But except of letter, we have something like soul of the Lisbon Treaty. It means that we need more involvement of institutions like European Parliament, European Commission, and they were not involved in all the processes in the proper way and in the quite big extent. So we should use all the possibilities inside the Lisbon Treaty to strengthen community institutions, because it's our approach to the European Union problems, to use community institutions, to decide together. We are representing in European Parliament all the citizens because we are directly elected in all the European regions, all the European member states, more than 700 members of parliament. So from this point of view, we are good democratic representation of our citizens, of our community, European community. And European Commission was also agreed in the European Parliament, similarly like the government in any other country. So from this point of view, both institutions, European Commission and European Parliament, should be much more and deeply responsible for the decisions in the European Union.
So does you need to pass the EU Charter before you can realize the United States of Europe?
Well, if we want to be, it was my just idea, which I put just now in the discussion on the table. But it is a very, very long way to achieve it, because now we should integrate on the basis of existing treaty.
Right.
If we want to change a treaty in 2, 3 or 4 years, it will be not very serious change. Just change for making our financial, fiscal, banking, economic or political union more effective. Just only for something like that. It will be still union and integration of national member states. It will be not federation even in the next years. And the next step could be in maybe some decades, 1 or 2 decades, something like federation of the national member states. But we must wait for that, because now it is impossible, because our citizens don't like it very much. They are against. So we should not, in full democracy, we should not go against our citizens' feeling and expectations. So that's a long way to United States of Europe. 100 years probably.
本周五，又一次欧盟领导人峰会刚刚落下帷幕。如今，欧盟已涵盖27个国家，总人口超过5亿，国内生产总值近13万亿欧元，已成为当今世界上实力最强、一体化程度最高的国家联合体。欧洲的一体化进程在里斯本条约的监督和保障下，正在全力向前推进。
You know, in China, a lot of people very admire your wisdom in the European countries. One of the most important thing they can understand is everything now, every important issue in the European Union now, you need the consensus decision to pass the important issues in your parliament. Is that difficult?
Well, we have majority voting in the European Parliament. In European Parliament, everything is decided on the majority voting. There is no veto rules. And in the Council, so it means Council of Ministers during the legislation, most decision is taken also on the basis of majority voting. Not the veto rules is only for few decisions. So it's much better from this point of view.
近期，欧盟委员会提出了约为1万亿欧元的中期财政预算案，目前已至少有9个欧盟国家威胁要动用否决权推翻这一方案。本周四，德国公布了11月的制造业采购经理指数，数值略逊于预期。这也暗示着2012年德国经济总体表现将稍有疲软。有分析认为，这表明欧债危机的影响已侵蚀到了欧元区的核心国家。欧债危机的出口究竟在哪里？
For the past 2 or 3 years, people keep on asking in this country that should we extend our helping hand to the euro crisis? So, from your perspective, what do you think about this?
Well, it would be great if you could buy euro bonds of some member states. Would be very supportive. But I'm quite sure that we can manage using our European Central Bank as a tool and its decision, European Monetary Fund, European Commission decisions. And I would like also to underline that we created in the European Union a really very high prosperity and also a very good democracy, very healthy democracy. And, well, it's still something like a destiny of millions, tens of millions of citizens all over the world. They would like to come to the European Union, to stay in the European Union. We've got a lot of proposals, millions of proposals from immigrants from all over the world. So it means we are very attractive for the international community. We've got some problems inside the European Union. We are not integrated enough. of course, we have differences in approach to our integration. But generally speaking, we've got problem on rather high level of prosperity in our member states. And our citizens know about that. And I think after that rather difficult times in some member states like Greece, Portugal, Spain, also Ireland, in the next few years our citizens will realize that we are really in very well organized countries, very rich, as a matter of fact, in comparison with the rest of the world. And it's another good news for us, because, as you know, we achieved Peace Nobel Prize as European Union.
Right.
It means that that Nobel Prize is given to people or to organizations which fight for peace, stabilization, and for such an atmosphere all over the world in which we can open to each other and we can cooperate. So from this point of view, this Nobel Prize could be also supportive for us, because it is giving us some answer on our problems. They say, by the decision, that we are doing proper ways and proper decisions, and we should continue to be still so brave like we were for the last 60 years, because it was not easy to integrate ourselves, because we are very different countries with different history, with different languages, and it's still not easy, but it's a very good result from point of view of peace and stabilization.
欧元区财长会议未见利好消息，希腊财政将步入最危险时期。默克尔说，欧债危机还将至少持续5年。
One and only one answer for our troubles is more integration.
英国在一体化前敲起退堂鼓，此时深陷债务泥潭的欧盟却荣获本年度诺贝尔和平奖，外界又有怎样的非议？一连2周专访原欧洲议会议长、波兰前总理耶日布泽克。
欢迎回来。大家知道，最近欧盟啊，就是它的有个组织叫北约组织啊，其实在过去这么几年以来，它介入了利比亚的危机，介入了伊拉克的危机，也派兵参与了阿富汗的战争。所以呢，今年这个诺贝尔和平奖颁给欧盟啊，就让很多人感到非常的不可思议，因为和平本来就应该针对和平有贡献的人或者是组织，过去曾经颁给国际扫雷组织，这也说得过去，是吧？可是呢，现在颁给欧盟这个，即使是也许他对这个伊拉克对阿富汗有贡献，可是目前还看不出来有毁誉参半。所以颁给这么样的一个国家，这一个组织呢，到底它用意何在？我们接下来要请这个布泽克先生来给我们从他欧盟的角度，从他这个欧洲人的角度，如何看待这次的诺贝尔和平奖的颁奖。
10月12日，挪威诺贝尔委员会主席亚格兰宣布，将2012年诺贝尔和平奖授予欧洲联盟。因为欧盟所扮演的稳定角色，帮助欧洲完成了从战争大陆到和平大陆的转变。这项决定引发了欧洲部分政党和网民的质疑，一些人甚至称它是愚人节的笑话。
When the Nobel Peace Commission announced this a few weeks ago, said a lot of people said, "Are you kidding? The European fought a war in the Libya." In the Iraq, and you grant them with the peace prize. So at that time, do you see any controversial between this?
Well, maybe it could be such a question. I am very open for such a question. But I must say that we are also very supportive as European Union for all the people and nations which are fighting for freedom, for democracy, for human rights. We were very supportive for North Africa, Libya, Egypt, Tunisia. And also we try to solve the problem in the Middle East between Palestine and Israel, which is very difficult to solve. And we are the best all over the world as European Union in developing policy. We spend a lot of money for Middle Africa, for some countries in Asia, to help people which are really in a very bad situation from economic point of view. We also open partly our borders for some immigrants, for example, political immigration or humanitarian immigration. And they are present in our continent, immigrants from all over the world. So from this point of view, we try to be supportive for all the nations and peoples which fight for democracy, freedom and peace.
Mm-hmm. So do you feel the Nobel Peace Prize Commission delivered too heavy burden on your shoulders about this? Are they trying to immission you to do more?
Yeah, I'm quite sure that they want to encourage us to make more for support to countries outside European Union. We are, for example, cooperating very closely with Western Balkans. Some years ago, it was a very hard and tough war between the countries, and now we opened the gate to the European Union, and they started to build democracy and cooperate between themselves and to solve their border problems. And it is also a similar result in the eastern part of our continent, because we have a special Eastern Partnership between EU and six states in the east part of Europe. So in many fields we try to support, to build stability and peace all over the world.
20世纪以来的100多年间，欧洲大陆也的确经历了太多的战争、杀戮、逃亡与离别。2次热战和1次冷战让欧洲人清醒地认识到，战争解决不了问题。面对美国和亚洲崛起，欧洲国家只有联合起来，才能维护自身安全，保证他们在国际舞台上的地位。
You witnessed the East meet the West after the Cold War in Europe. From your feeling, you look back at your shoulder. What do you feel now?
It's a very individual question, personal question for me. Because when I was 12 or 13 years old, my desire was to be a member of Polish Parliament, my country Parliament, in the time when my country will be free, because my country was occupied at those times.
Right.
I never dreamed about my country being a member of European Union or myself being member of European Parliament.
Yes, and the president.
And being president of European Parliament. Mm-hmm. So if you ask me about that, I can tell you that is everything out of imagination, because it is something like miracle for all the member states from Central Eastern part of Europe, like Lithuania, Slovakia, Bulgaria, Poland, Czech Republic. And now we are really feel very well in the European Union. And I think from some points of view, we are also supportive for the European integration, because we have a lot of energy and a lot of power for integration, because we know how it was 20, 30 years ago to be, as a matter of fact, occupied countries, without possibility to have a free democracy, freedom for our citizens. So we can see the difference between what was in the past and what is now. And support for European integration today is much higher in the so-called new member states from Central Eastern Europe than in the so-called old member states from the west part of Europe. Right. For example, in my country, support is almost 80%. It's very high. And the highest in the European Union. People would like to be in the European Union because and to support integration, because we know what is the difference.
Right.
Not to be in the EU and to be in the EU is much better for our citizens. We feel better, we feel secure, we can send our goods all over Europe and also outside Europe. We can move freely in the whole European Union without any passport or ID. Our students can study in all the universities all over the European Union. So we have a lot of possibilities to develop ourselves and for growth, for creating innovative economy and creating jobs.
我们在上星期和这个星期邀请了欧洲的政治家布泽克，他也是波兰的著名的政治家，来谈论到欧盟区各种的发展。对于布泽克来讲，这位曾经目睹波兰的在冷战时期的转变，一直到现在，也目睹了波兰在政治体制改革以后进入现在新的欧洲体系的时候，他面临的种种的经验。他很感慨地跟我们讲，他在年轻的时候从来没有想过波兰会进行如此的民主的选举，会呼吸到民主的气息。所以他说他对现在的这个欧盟，尤其是欧盟，他还是很有信心的，尽管有各种的问题。可是对布泽克来讲，这些问题没有一个比过去他在老波兰时代面临的那种的气氛更不能解决的。所以他在这2集的节目当中，他用他现身说法的经历来跟我们谈到了很多欧盟过去的种种，也谈到现在跟欧盟还有未来的走向。我相信经过他的解析，大家可能对欧盟所面临的过去、现在和未来有了一点非常深刻的了解。感谢您收看今天的风云对话，我们7天之后再见。